Good afternoon, kindergarten writers. It's been a little while since we've been able to do a journal together, so I am very excited to come back into your classroom today. We are going to write a sentence practicing our short E sound. So this is a review for us, meaning we've learned it before, but we're doing extra practice with us. So when we make the short E sound, our mouth is stretched, E, our voice is on, and it's a continuous sound. So we're going to work on how to put that into a sentence. Now remember, it is very important that we are able to write a sentence. So that means we get the complete thought, all the words out onto the page, and we do it the right way. That means we start with an uppercase letter, we use finger spaces, the rest of our letters should be lowercase, and we always use an ending mark. And we want to make sure that when we are writing, we start on the left side of the page, not in the middle. We also want to make sure that we're doing our very best and we're staying straight on the line. I shouldn't see anybody writing so big that they're all over the place. I shouldn't see them going down the page. We are working on making sure that all of our letters touch that bottom line. And then we know we have some letters that are tall that touch the top, some letters that fall that go below the line, and we have some letters that just work within where that dotted line is. I know I've told my class that dotted line is for new writers when they're learning how to make letters the correct way. So just because you can make a letter look how it's supposed to doesn't mean that you're actually following the proper way to make the letter. And the reason why we teach that is so that as you continue writing, your handwriting flows and it's more legible. That means we can read it. Okay, let's get started. Today our sentence is, I get a net. Let's count how many words we're doing. I get a net. There. So 4. We know we're working with 4 words. And I'm going to start with the sentence today. So remember, the top half of your paper should be blank. You're going to write your sentence on the bottom half of the paper. Before we get started, you should have made sure that you had your writing journal. We open up to the very next blank page. So I don't just open up willy-nilly to anywhere in the book. I open up to the very next blank page. See how all of my writing is nice and all together? It's like I've made my own little storybook here, friends, of our learning. So the last journal that I know that I did was, Did You Trap the Rat? So I should turn, and I'm going to do it right on the next side of that paper. If your paper happens to be this one on the side, then you're going to do it on that very next page. Do not just open somewhere in your book and start drawing, because then when we have to go back and check your work, we can't find it. We go in order, okay? So let's make sure you're on your next blank page. This is what ours will end up looking like at the end, which I will come back to that. Make sure you have a pencil. And let's get started. So on the bottom half of the page, and if it helps you, if you want to draw a line on in your book, on your paper, to say this half is for my picture, this is for my writing. I am an author on the bottom. I am an illustrator on top. So let's go ahead and author our sentence. We all know how to spell the word I, and we know the word I is uppercase. So I'm going to start all the way over to the left side, and I'm going to write my uppercase I. I start at the top line, straight down, and then I'm going to make a line across the top and a line across the bottom. So I, finger spaces. Always use your finger spaces. Finger space. I get. Let's sound it out. Ready? G, et, get. Our first sound, G. So finger space. I'm going to start with my G. So G is a letter that falls. So I start by making a circle shape, touching that dotted line. Then I come back down and I give it a hug. So G. Our next sound, eh. That's our short E. So I start under that dotted line. I make a straight line out. And then I come around like I'm making a C and connect it, just like that. So it should be below that dotted line right there. So I, G, et. What's our ending sound? T. Great job. So let's start top to bottom, and then we cross it in the middle. Oh, got a little overzealous there, made a really big T. See, we all make mistakes. Make sure you take the time to go ahead and erase and fix it, all right? Make sure your letters are in the right place. So I get a, the word A is the letter A. So finger space, let's go ahead and write that. Make sure you're doing this the correct way. So you start below that dotted line, We're gonna draw a circle around, touching the dotted line and the bottom line. Once I connect it, I then come back down and give it a little tail there. So I shouldn't see you. I don't wanna see your A. Don't write this part, I'm just showing you. I don't wanna see your A like this. That looks like a Q. Make sure you're drawing your circle. You don't pick up your pencil and then you bring that A back down. Let me erase that. Okay. I get a, our last one, net. N-et. First sound. N. So I'm gonna do my finger space. N. There we go. N-e. That's short E again. N-et. Last sound is T. I want to make sure, and we put an ending marker, and I put a period there. That marks the end of the sentence. Go back and double check your work. And I want to make sure that when I'm sounding out words that I don't just give up, that I sound out each sound and write down the letters that make those sounds, okay? So, n-et. Even though we had 4 words we had to work out there, we can do that, okay? So I get a net. Now, I have authored my sentence. I'm gonna go up here and illustrate. I'm gonna draw the picture. Move this out of our way. So first, I'm gonna draw my tree, because we're gonna be outside. I'm gonna draw my curved line like that on that side of the paper. And then I like to make like a cloud shape to make my tree, just like that. There's our tree. Next, I'm gonna draw a girl. If you wanna draw a boy, that's totally fine. You're the illustrator here. You have freedom to switch it up if you want to. Just make sure you're following along with my guidance, okay? So we've got the tree. I'm gonna draw a girl, so I'm gonna start with her head. I'm gonna give her a stick body, give her a slanted stick leg and a bubble shoe, another slanted stick leg and a bubble shoe. And remember, you can always pause this if you need a little extra time and rewind it if you need to as well, okay? All right, I'm gonna give her a dress. And then I'm gonna give her an arm going this way with some fingers, and then another arm going this way with some fingers, okay? I'm gonna come back up here to her face. I'm gonna give her circle eyes, put a little dot in there. I know it's kind of hard to see with the marker, that's okay. And I'm gonna make her smile because she's happy. And I need to give her some hair. We gotta add in those details, right? That just makes it better. So from there, our sentence is, I get a net. So now I'm gonna draw a net. This can be a little tricky, and that's okay. Yours is not gonna look like mine. Mine's not the best, but that's all right. I'm gonna keep trying. So I'm gonna draw straight lines down out of her hands to make a handle. I made 2 straight lines there for a handle. Gotta close it off on the bottom. Then I'm gonna come back up to the top, and I'm gonna draw a circle from the top. Kind of looks like a P. Trust the process, friends. So on the bottom of that circle, I'm gonna make a rectangle shape like that. And then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna draw straight lines down inside of that, just like that. Here, I can bring it a little closer so you can see. Straight lines down, okay? Then I'm gonna draw straight lines across to make that netted look. It doesn't have to look perfect, okay? So there's my net. I can even come up here and do the same thing with the lines. So it looks like it's all the way through, okay? So there's my net. Now, why does she have a net? I think she's out there catching butterflies. So I'm going to draw a butterfly, I start with the body part first, and I make like a little skinny oval shape, okay? And then on one side, I do a loop around like a B. There's a wing on that side, and then I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. I make it like a backwards B. Then we gotta give it some antennas. Good job. Then I'm gonna draw another one. Skinny little oval shape, a B shape, a B shape. Give her some antenna. All right. Then up at the top here, I'm gonna draw a sun. All right, fantastic job, friends. So there is our picture. I'm gonna go back now that I'm all done. I'm gonna again double check my work here, because as writers, we always have room for improvement. The best writers can go back and say, oh, I should have changed this word here. Oh, look at my letters. Oh, my handwriting could be better. Take your time and double check, because that's what we're building on working on becoming, is great writers. This is gonna help us as we move forward into writing our own stories soon. Then up here as our illustrator, I'm gonna make sure I've got all of my details here. We can go back and we're gonna color this. So see, I colored her dress. I did some grass on the bottom. I colored my butterflies, my sun, and even my tree here. And I colored her hair. If you have extra time, please take your time to add in some extra. You could add in some bees, maybe a bird in the background, even a little bush or some flowers. Add in some other details because details just help tell your story better. All right, friends, you've done a wonderful job today. I'm so proud of you and everything that you are learning, and I will see you soon.